What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another LEGO YouTube video. Today I thought it would be a fun idea to kind of take a look back at the original LEGO Batman game, which was of course a big part of my childhood, and I'm sure was a very big part of any of y'all watching's childhood. And I wanted to take a look back at some of the minifigures and kind of go through and rank all of them, as I feel like each minifigure from this era definitely was very unique, and it's kind of fun to see how different they are compared to some of our modern LEGO DC minifigures that we've seen in 2024, and it's kind of fun to just take a look back and rank through my favorites of the official and widely released LEGO Batman 1 minifigures, and these guys ran up from about 2006 all the way up until I think the last one released in 2009 or 2008, I may be wrong on that, but let's just go ahead and get straight into the ranking. And at the very bottom of the list on the 21st spot, we actually have all of the different Henchmen minifigures. And I figured all of the Henchmen kind of look exactly the same, so I didn't really feel like I should rank each individual henchman. If I were to, though, I think the Two-Face ones would probably be my favorite out of all of the officially released henchmen, just because they have the most unique design to them, but they're a very basic minifigure. Not that basic is bad, just compared to a lot of the other minifigures on this list, they do kind of fall short, though I do still really like them. And then at the number 19 spot, I kind of comboed the Arkham Asylum guards, because they quite literally feel like the exact same minifigure minus the face prints, and again, very basic minifigures, but I do have a lot of nostalgia for them, and there's nothing inherently wrong with their designs. It's a random side character, nothing too crazy going on here. And so next up, we've got our first kind of main character over here, which is Bruce Wayne, who was actually exclusive to the 2006 LEGO Batcave set, and it's a very solid minifigure. I like the basic printing on it. The face print also looks really good. Just, again, compared to some of the other minifigures on this list, he definitely falls short a little bit, though for what it was trying to be, pretty good. And next up on the list, we have the short-haired version of Robin. Now, not to be confused with the kind of more wavy-haired version that we got earlier on. This one I don't like as much just because they get rid of the one most unique part of the minifigure, which is the wavy hair. It kind of subs that out for the short hair. It's a very nice-looking minifigure, just not as memorable in my opinion. And then the first Batman out of, I think, 3 on this list is the darker, kind of solid black suit of the Batman minifigure. This was actually the very first LEGO Batman minifigure that I got out of the 2006 wave, as I did try and collect them, and I actually did get most of them except for Alfred back in the day. But it's a very good minifigure. I just feel like it wasn't really used as much in the video game, and it's a more simple design, which is why I don't like it as much as I do the other variants that we did get from this theme. And then next up on the list is the 2006 version of the Penguin minifigure. Now, I feel like this minifigure definitely has not aged very well, especially when you look at the face print. Not that it looks really bad, but I just feel like it looks out of place, especially when you look at kind of more modern day LEGO face prints. I feel like this guy just doesn't really look that good in today's standards. The torso printing is really great, and I like the umbrella accessory and the purple mini legs. I just feel like the face definitely throws me off quite a bit and makes me not like this minifigure as much, and it's also just a very simple design, but the Penguin has a very simple design in general. And then next up on the list, we have the classic suit version of the LEGO Batman minifigure, and this is probably the most memorable and iconic one out of the entire series of the kind of Batman minifigures inside of the Batman 1 theme, because this is the one that is, of course, on the cover of the video game and the one that you actually play through the most as during the LEGO Batman video game. So I really like that. And then next up on the list is the Alfred minifigure. This is one of the few that I have yet to collect in my LEGO collection, and I really like the face print and the tuxedo design here. We don't really get too many Alfred minifigures, and I feel like, especially considering the time that it's released, it's a very simple looking minifigure, but for a while it definitely still held up until I would say the LEGO Batman movie version of Alfred. I feel like it's just a very simple design of the character, but still really good. And then next up on my list is the classic Harley Quinn minifigure, and I think this was actually one of the final minifigures from the wave that we got, and I really like the design of this one. It reminds me a lot of the Batman the Animated Series version of her. I really like the blue eyes, and I love how the printing kind of is a nice checkered pattern. It's very similar to the 2012 one, as you can see in this picture, except the one main distinction I would say is definitely the face print, as this one is definitely a bit more comic-y. It's got the yellow teeth, but I do really like it a lot. And then next up is Killer Croc, and this was actually one of the first LEGO Batman minifigures that I ever had in my collection, as I inherited it from my brother, who got out of LEGO, and so all I had from this minifigure was the head, so I have a lot of nostalgia for this. But nostalgia aside, I also just really like the design of this one. It's the only minifigure version of Killer Croc that we have gotten in LEGO, and I think they did a really good job detailing the figure. I love all of the print detailing on the torso and the face. I think the red eyes look really menacing, and I love all of the teeth details that we see. And I think what especially sticks out with this character are all of the individual scales that you were able to see on the torso and the head print. Lots of detail, especially considering the time that this minifigure came out in, I think is very impressive. And then moving on, we have a bit more of a simple character, but I do still really like the design. It is the Mr. Freeze minifigure, and I feel like this is a really fun design. I kind of like the astronaut look to him that he's got, and again, it does really remind me of the animated series Mr. Freeze, because I feel like the original LEGO Batman video game was heavily inspired by Batman the Animated Series, as it came out relatively recently, like after the Batman the Animated Series originally aired, so you can kind of see why they draw a lot of inspiration from it. But again, very simple design, but I do really like the face print as well as the helmet, and I also like the backpack accessory too, though I do wish he had some more printing. I have a lot of nostalgia for the figure, which is kind of why he's so high up on this list. And then next up we have the classic version of Two-Face, and this is actually my favorite version of the character that we have gotten in LEGO form. Second, I would say a close second is probably the one we got from the LEGO Batman movie, but this one is very simple, and it's really, really impressive how it still holds up today. I love the white and black color scheme, as well as the purple face print over here too, and I even like how they did the printing on the kind of like connector for the two legs. I forget what the actual part for the Lego legs is called, but I really like how the printing extends onto that. And then next up is the actual Robin that is much more rare than the short-haired variation of it, just because of the hairpiece, and it's definitely one of my favorites out of the entire thing. It almost was my favorite, but the other ones on this list are just ever so slightly better. I love the cape detail and all of the print details on it, and it also has a very unique hairpiece that you don't see in any modern LEGO sets, which is why this is so expensive. It was only ever, I think, in one other LEGO set apart from the 2006 Batcave. It's a very iconic minifigure. When you think of this theme, I feel like I always think of Batman, Robin, and the Joker, and of course it is the one that you play as you don't really play as the short-haired version at all in the video game, and he of course is featured on the cover art of the LEGO Batman video game. And then next up on the list we have the classic Nightwing minifigure. I want to say this was the second LEGO Batman minifigure that I added to my collection when I was trying to collect them all a couple of years ago, and what really sticks out with this one has to be the hairpiece. I think it's originally from the LEGO Exoforce theme, but this is definitely one of the most unique hairpieces out of the entire theme. I feel like this is definitely the main attention grabber when you look at this minifigure, and it's a very simple design like a lot of the other ones on the list. I love the blue color scheme and the blue lightsaber pieces that we use for his batons. Very nice minifigure. And then next up on the list is the classic Bane minifigure, and apart from the Big Fig that we saw in the LEGO Batman movie, I feel like this is the best design of the character that we have gotten before. When you look at the torso prints, it's very detailed. You're able to see a lot of scratch marks and just tons of like very, very tiny details everywhere, which I think is really good. And then the face print also is really impressive too. And then this detail also continues to the back of the minifigure, where we're able to kind of see the, I forget what it's called, but all the tubes on the back of his head and the back of his torso look really nice. And then at the number, I believe this is the number 2 spot, we have the Joker, and the Joker I think is one of the most iconic Batman villains, probably the most iconic Batman villain, and one of the most iconic characters that you get to play as in the LEGO Batman video game. I think this is one of the funnest designs of the Joker that we have gotten in LEGO. I think the face print cannot be beaten. It's very expressive, and I think it perfectly captures what the Joker character is supposed to be. And I also really like the green version of the Wolverine hair, though I guess it originally was the Joker's hair, and I like the simple printing with the torso. Very solid minifigure. And then of course my favorite minifigure out of the entire LEGO Batman theme, I probably have a bit of a bias for this just because I am such a big fan of the Scarecrow. He is my favorite LEGO Batman, or just my favorite Batman villain in general, and I think they did not disappoint with the design of this character. It's definitely my favorite Scarecrow that they have ever done in LEGO, just because I love the expressiveness of the face, and the torso detailing is also really great. But what's also really stands out to me with this minifigure is the fact that his head actually does glow in the dark, which is something we hardly ever see with LEGO minifigures, and I think just that entire kind of, I guess, play feature of this minifigure is really impressive, and it looks really good too, and I'm really impressed how mine still works to this day, and it just adds a lot of character, I think, to the minifigure, and I'm very happy with it. I think it is way better than any other Scarecrow minifigure that we have gotten in LEGO, and that's my list. So yeah, definitely let me know what you guys thought of my ranking of all of the LEGO Batman minifigures from the original LEGO Batman theme. I left out some of the Comic-Con exclusive ones just because those weren't really widely released, and I wanted to focus this one on like some that you as the audience might have had and some that I have in my own collection. So definitely let me know what you thought of the list down below. I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to disagree with my list, and that's totally fine. I think that's really fun to discuss all of our differences in our lists. So definitely let me know what your list would be down in the comments below. Be sure to leave a like on the video if you did enjoy, and subscribe if you are new around here. But that is all for today, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out. Bye.